Welcome to the Real Mama Pod.
I'm your host, Devin.
And I'm your host, Kendra.
We are real moms.
Sharing real experiences. The things people don't tell you.
Hey, Mama, hey.
Hey, Mama, hey.
How you doing, friend?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm great. Super fantastic.
Great. Super fantastic. What else?
I don't know. I'm not going to say super
How
excited.
else are you going to describe your day, Devin?
I'm wonderful.
Well, that's good. You should be wonderful.
Yeah.
You should. Y'all, we have a beautiful guest with us.
Beautiful. Gorgeous.
She's waving in the camera. We have Scarlett. Scarlett went to FAMU with us. Mm-hmm. She came. There you go, Rattler. She came in our class. Yeah. We're not going to say when.
Yep, because that'll be aging us.
Right. But Scarlett has always been a super sweet, pleasant person. She's been who she is since I first met her.
Just fabulous.
We were 17, 18 years old. Seriously.
Well, I appreciate that. That's very sweet. Thank you.
But you have certainly been a very, like I said, sweet and pleasant person. And just watching where you are now in life, it's like, oh, she's doing very well.
And it fits, too, because she's always been, like, about your business.
Yes.
In the business school. You know,
yes, prancing around in her heels on campus.
Meanwhile, we were rocking Jordans, but you know.
Don't get it twisted. Scarlett's from Duval County now.
Yeah.
It's like she was like, don't get it twisted.
She had that side about her, but yeah, she definitely had the heels on.
Mm-hmm. Got her heels and about her business, trucking through campus.
Yeah, so see her in corporate life now, it just makes sense. Mm-hmm. And so we have a wide audience, and we were like, we never really talk about corporate life.
Yeah.
And we were like, Scarlett is the perfect person.
Yeah. Because of the industry.
Yeah.
Statistically what it looks like, what it's always been, and then seeing you in this space and climbing these ladders, whatever you want to call them, we were like, oh, she's the perfect person. And you're here in Atlanta. So.
Yeah. And especially with small kids. And she's still like rocking and rolling, because a lot of times you hear moms feeling defeated, not being able to climb up the corporate ladder or just excel in their job because they have kids, and she's doing it.
And she has two young children.
Young children. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna dive into that.
Yeah,
girl, it's true.
We gotta hype each other up, girl.
We do.
So, and she's a boy mama too, so she knows what life looks like for us, me and Devin. So go ahead and say, hey, Scarlett.
Well, hello, everyone. I am honored to be here. Thank you, ladies, for inviting me. I love everything that this personifies. Like you said, we have to support women. We have to support mamas, because what a mom looked like a decade, 20 years ago is very different. Mm-hmm. And so I love the positivity that you all have been radiating thus far. And I'm super, super excited to be here and honored that you guys would have me as a guest. Very humbled.
Thank you, Scarlett.
I love that.
Thank you. So tell us about your journey to mamahood.
Yeah, so my journey to motherhood, I would kind of say it's like a textbook journey. I planned it. As soon as I planned it, my husband and I planned it. We had a little boy. My actual pregnancy was pretty seamless. There weren't any major complications. I was still traveling. At that time, I was in sales, and so every month or so, I'd be up in the air, traveling with my baby boy in my stomach, and everyone would be like, you're crazy. Why are you still traveling and you are carrying, right? Mm-hmm. But it's always the drive in me to just keep going, and so I probably traveled up until week 43 of my pregnancy, and then decided to calm on down. And I had my baby boy, my first one. My second journey to motherhood, that was a little different. It's like your body is like, oh, now you can't bounce back. Or I had a lot of pain, sciatic pain in my nerves, and so I couldn't move around a lot. And then it was a COVID baby as well, so it was great. I didn't have to do a lot of travel. But my journey into motherhood was very real. With both journeys, because each one is different, I never, ever forgot to keep God centered. And there were special prayers that I would pray over my sons. My dad got me this book about praying for your unborn child. And I would read that and just pray over them and manifest over them and rub my stomach, daily, just trying to prepare for them, because you can read all the textbooks that you want, but it doesn't prepare you for the real world when they get here. And so mine was more of prepping myself mentally, emotionally, and prayerfully so that when the time did come, I could execute patience. I could be the mother that's nurturing and still have a career, but not forget, my role is to procreate and take care of my boys. And so I was very grounded and I was very intentional when it came to that journey. And I think that has what helped me in particular to be somewhat successful, because I don't know what I'm doing, right? None of us do. But it's really been able to help me stay grounded in being a mom and managing that corporate arena.
That was good.
That's great. Got the prayers. Right. What is this book? I'm curious.
It's called Prayers for the Unborn Child.
Okay.
I could send it to you guys. I don't remember the author, but it's based off Catholicism because I am Catholic. And so I can definitely send that to you if you guys are interested.
Yeah, of course. And we'll put it in our description for any mom who is expecting or who anticipates having children in the near future. I'm sure it'll be a good resource. Absolutely. Those prayers might even transcend into our kids who are here now. So certainly
it's big.
Send it over.
That sounds really good. So that brings me to my next question. You are a true boss, right? So can you be a really good present mom in the moment, not checking emails, not on the phone, just enjoying motherhood, right? And be this great person at work, this leader that you are at work, and be really present there and excel. How do you do both? What does that look like? Does one slack? Does one get more than the other?
Yes,
Walk us through
that's
that.
a very, very loaded question and something I finally somewhat have grasped. The very first year of motherhood, I was exhausted. I worked 24/7. I did not prioritize being a mother. Motherhood came when I was done with work and I closed my laptop at 7:30, 8 o'clock. Because during the day I'm tired, I'm pumping. I'm literally flying from city to city. I'm in Atlanta airport using the mama pod, trying to pump. It was just so many other things that was important. And I used my village, my only village at the time in Cincinnati, Ohio, which was my husband. I heavily depended on him. And it became a day where I was just like, this is not sustainable. Something has got to stop because I'm tired, I'm burnt out, and I allow that frustration to carry on in my family life. And I can't do that because my family is going to be there. And so to answer your question, can you do both? You can, but there's a fine balance. So it wasn't until I was selected with my former company to be a part of the National African American Women's Leadership Institute, which is also known as NALI. And they said as mothers, which is great because it's a leadership program, but they also talk to you as a mother and said you have to set boundaries. This work will be here. These people will lay you off if there's a decision based on cost. If they feel as if you no longer fit the mold, you're out. So you grind and you work and you do all these things for a corporation that has no loyalty to you. So that's when it finally clicked for me. And so I started to write down what I wanted my day to look like. And at that point I said, laptop's done at 5 o'clock. No checking emails on the weekend. It's time to find a new job that's not going to tire you, where you have customers and people calling you on the weekend and you're having to step away from family life. I completely wrote everything down and what I wanted to do, and I started praying for it because I knew it wasn't sustainable. And it wasn't until that exact moment where God began to unveil things and allowed me to look at things in a different lens. And once I started setting those boundaries, I started working more productively. I was more present. And at that time, I found out I was having another boy. And I was just like, wow, God, what was I doing all that for?
Right.
And I casted my cares onto him. You'll see in my responses today, I always bring everything back to God.
Absolutely.
So, it was just amazing. I prayed over the list and I said, all right, God, this is for you. And literally I had another boy. I started interviewing like crazy. Finally got my dream job. And this is a job now where, guys, I may work 5 hours a day. Nobody's calling me on the weekend. I'm able to spend time with my boys, take time off with my family. And I think that was the biggest thing. So yes, you can, to answer your question, you can be both. But you have to realize where you are currently in your motherhood. Is it sustainable? And if it's not, write down what you want your motherhood to look like. Write down what you want your career to look like. Ask God to oversee it and then go after it. And it's not until you do those things to where you can really have a good balance of both.
Amen.
So bringing it back to God, there's no balance without Him.
Right.
So have you ever felt like being a mother has slowed you down professionally?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yes, there was a point in my life where I was very arrogant, where I said, I don't want kids. It's going to slow me down. I'm trying to climb the corporate ladder. There's no way I can have kids, take off for maternity leave for 6 to 8 months, and then get back in the game and people will respect me. This is all nonsense. Like, none of that stuff even exists. It's all in your mind.
Right.
People nowadays in corporate America are very sensitive to mothers and the sacrifices that they make. There was a time that I thought that. But if you set those boundaries and you remain productive and you start your mornings early and you end them early, you know, your evenings early, but you have everything planned out, you can achieve all your professional goals. I don't think that being a mom will delay your professional growth. I think there are phases in your professional growth that you will realize it's time to take a seat back and it's time to be on autopilot, still produce and give excellent and quality work, but I can't be the last one, you know, in the room when we have cocktail hour. Right. I can't be the one signing up to host corporate events. I can't do that extracurricular thing and stuff. And so there's no one or nothing that can stop your progression professionally if it's already yours. And again, it goes back to God. If you pray to God, you've asked Him for things, and you're working diligently towards the request that you asked Him, He's going to see it through.
Yeah.
Now, there's going to be a waiting period where we think, this is not happening, God. This is not happening fast enough. What am I doing? I mean, you know, these kids are taking up so much time. That's the enemy coming in your mind, but really God is putting you in a waiting period to say, wait, I'm going to manifest everything you've asked for beyond what you've asked for. Just be obedient. And so that's how I've looked at professionalism and being a mother. You can do it. You just have to wait your period. Everybody has a season.
Scarlett, you're taking us to church today. And
We
I
know
can
we're
appreciate
church
that.
today.
Absolutely. We love a good message and reasoning behind and the stories and just the connection spiritually that you have that has led you to where you are, not just in your professional life, but in your family life too. So I love to hear these, I don't want to call them scenarios, but essentially that's what it is.
It took a long time to get here because as mamas, we lose it. Like there's a year or two. I've only been a mom for 2 years and I don't know what I'm doing, but there is a period where you just lose your way and then you have nobody else to depend on. It doesn't matter if your spouse is in the house with you every night. It doesn't matter if your mom or dad calls on you every day. There's something about a self-reflection and introspect that you have to have during your motherhood to make everything come back to reality and sane. And for me, it was God. So
That was good. Woo.
And I'm sure a lot of moms need to hear that too.
Yeah.
Because we definitely can lose our way in motherhood. We've all been at that point where it's like, I don't know what's next. I'm just taking it a day at a time.
Yeah.
And we depend on other people or vices, right?
Yeah.
We put that need or want into something or someone else, and they don't fill that void.
Right.
They're disappointed.
Right.
And the reason why is because they will never be able to fulfill you like God will.
Right. Nobody like God.
Right.
Praise.
That part.
And two, like those first 2 years, any mama who's in that beginning stage, it's just rough.
It's brutal.
It's brutal. It will make or break you.
Yep.
Those first 2 years are really hard. So just stick it out and stay faithful. If your faith is God, like write those things out. Ask Him for those things. He's listening. He's listening to our prayers. He already know what's going to happen anyways.
Right.
So you just got to be faithful. You really do. So going
Families,
back,
are y'all looking for some fun to get into this summer? If so, we have the perfect trip for you.
Yes, KT Travel and More is back with another great trip.
Yes.
July 13th through July 16th, you and your family can pack up and go where, friend?
To Punta Cana.
Yes.
Hey.
So hit up Stephanie for all the details, but this trip is very affordable and it fits a family of 4.
Absolutely. And guess what? You will be in Punta Cana for 4 days and 3 nights under the sunny weather, the breeze, the ocean, all the fun. So make sure you check out KT Travel and More for more details.
Sign up today before it's too late. So going back to working in corporate America, for high achieving mamas, right? Like yourself, how is corporate America? Are they doing better? Are they making changes? Do you feel like your voice is being heard? And then also, what can they improve on?
Yeah, being a mom in corporate America, that's a challenge in itself, right? Nobody cares about your personal life. Right. Nobody cares if your boys are sick. Nobody cares if you, you got a cold because there's a cold running in the daycares every other week. Like, you have to be there and be present. Working in corporate America as a mom has been challenging. And I'll say this, right? So I'll give you an interesting story. I was at a corporate dinner with one of my biggest customers, and they were shocked to see me there. And they're like, well, who's watching the kids?
I hate that question.
Right? And I said, my husband. And they're like, your husband watches the kids while you're out traveling? And I said, yeah, he's their dad. And, the guys across the table, who was of a different hue, said, I would never do that. I would never allow my wife to travel while I stay at home with the boys. That is insane. You're so lucky. And you hear comments like that, or you hear comments where they say, well, are you done? Are you going to have more? That's none of your business.
Yeah.
And it's just been very difficult because of the comments that are made. Especially those mothers who are in a male-dominated industry. And I've worked in a male-dominated industry for my entire career. And so it's been very difficult to show up as Scarlett Collins, who belongs here, who her merit has gotten her a seat at the table. They don't see that. They see an African-American woman who is out traveling, handling business, but then has kids at home. So there's a stereotype that comes with it. So if they are talking about a project or having to stay home late, oh, well, can you stay home late? Or can you stay at work late? Because I know you have your boys that you have to look after. But no one's asking them that, right?
Right.
So it's like there's a huge double standard. But I will say I have since then switched careers because of instances like that. And my new company, they do very well in supporting mamas. They help pay for moms who are want to have fertility clinics, or I'm probably saying the wrong.
Go through like a fertility process, IVF.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you for keeping me honest there. And so they do all of that. You have 8 months maternity leave.
Wow.
8?
8 months.
Ultra.
Believe that?
Woo.
Isn't that amazing?
I thought I was good with 5.
Right? 8, which is crazy. And there's a lot of things that they help with moms who've just had a baby, like therapy. They give you doulas. So some companies are taking the step in the right direction, depending on how progressive they are. So I came from a dated railroad industry that's been around for 120 years. So they were not as progressive. Right. To your point, the culture. But now I'm at a big Tech 5 company where they are trying to be the first so everybody else follows.
Right.
And it's a way more welcoming and friendly and happy environment. I know my boss, when we have our one-on-ones every week, he's asking me first before we get into business, how are the boys?
Right.
How are they adjusting to Atlanta? How are they adjusting to your new home? How are you mentally? And so he cares about that.
Yeah.
So I would say a lot of companies have a long way to go, but there are some out there who are doing a darn good job. But there's a lot of them that got a long way to go.
Oh my gosh! So I'm curious. How did you get into corporate America? Like, what made you want to work in this industry?
Yeah, corporate America has always been enticing to me because my mother, she was an educator. And so she always said, you know, you're going to graduate, you're going to get your master's, you know, but you got to work at these big companies and get these great benefits, and that's going to be your life. And so, you know, I'm like, all right, Mom, and that's what I'll do. And so that was really the journey. And then I always wanted to be like a vice president of sales. I've always dreamt that. Ever since I was a little girl, I would go into a store or any company, I say, they could do this better. They could do this better. Oh, if they only did this, they could increase their sales by doing this. I've always, that's my bread and butter. That's my secret sauce, as they like to say. Like, I can always look at a problem and fix it like that. And I like doing things that are super complex that nobody else in the room can see a solution to, and then I'm always the one that narrow ends on it and like, this is the answer.
Right.
And so that's just been an inherent strength of mine wherever I've been. I've tried to always go in and make things better wherever I am. And so being able to have that inherent quality and then getting the teachings from my mother, it was just something I always wanted to do. I loved when we were in SBI and we'd read the textbooks about, you know, golf etiquette and how you sit at a table and you allow the leader to talk first, and then how you use your utensils. All those things have been fascinating to me. And then just making money. It is awesome. Like, you have the potential to make as much money as you want, especially in sales, which I am in. And so it's just always been something that I love. And the corporate arena, it's been fun. I like going and entertaining customers, going to steakhouse, golf events, going to the breakers down in Florida. Like, all these things are just like, wow, this is another side of life that I haven't experienced, that no one in my immediate, probably, bloodline has even seen, because they haven't been in that corporate arena. So I also think it gives you a different perspective on how others are living life. And so it gives you the opportunity to say, this is what I want for my family. This is what I want for the next generation, because the opportunities that are afforded.
I love that. So what advice do you have for that corporate mama who's afraid to take that leap because she's a mama? Like, she wants to grow, she wants to elevate, but she
loves the corporate America work life. But
what do you say to her?
I would say, just do it. I know this sounds really cliche, but I'm going to go back to a seminar, or it was something Michelle Obama was speaking to, and she said, hey, I've been in the room with people from Harvard, and I used to intern with people from Harvard myself, and in Stanford. I'd sit in the boardroom with CEOs. I'll sit in the boardroom with AVPs, directors. And I can tell you, these people are not that smart. They're not smarter than you. They just have a certain privilege that has allowed them to be in the room.
Right.
So put that fear behind you and give the work ethic and the grit that is needed to take you to that next level, and do it. It is all in your mind. You have to stay close to your creator. And that may look like whoever to you. I'm not pushing my faith or religion on anyone, but you have to stay close to your creator, because the desires that you have in your heart, if it's for you in corporate America, it was put there for a reason. And so it is upon you to go out there and start putting that heart and desire into reality and materialize it. And once you do, the doors will open, opportunities will fall on your doorstep, and you will be ready and prepared for it, because you would have been doing the work behind the scenes, and God's going to meet you there and blow your mind. So I would say, let go of the fears, let go of the notion that this may be hard, because anything worth having is going to be hard. And just know that there's people in the room that are just everyday people just like you.
Right.
And they all have a story on how they got there. Nobody in the room is more smarter or better than the other person. Everybody just has a unique skill set that has allowed them to be there. And that's what you have to focus on. Focus on what you bring to the table. Focus on what makes you unique. Focus on what makes you you. And once you know that, that's when you establish your worth. That's when you establish your brand. And that is when you establish what your secret sauce is. And then you're able to look back and say, well, what are my core values? And then once you start thinking about all of that, I mean, the confidence that you'll have will go through the roof, and you'll be able to walk in any corporate arena, any boardroom, and you will be able to steal the show. So that would be my advice. To
I love that. The secret
confidence
sauce
of a FAMU woman.
Right.
Hey,
nothing like it.
Y'all both know it,
It is nothing like it. It is nothing
you
like
both know it, how it goes.
That's really good advice and all true.
Yeah, all true.
Just go for it.
And you exude all of that, so that makes your answer makes perfect sense.
Thank you. It wasn't always this way. It's a lot of hard work.
Yeah,
Thank
it takes trial and error. It takes some no's.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to get to that point. So
And be humble. That's another thing. I cannot say that enough. There's so many arrogant people in corporate America who fail very, very quickly. And that is, I think, one thing that in particular has helped me. I have worked with some very arrogant, just nasty people just trying to be cutthroat and get their way to the top. But one of my VPs, who I'll never forget, said, work hard, keep your head down, don't listen to the noise, don't get into the work politics and drama. And on top of that, just be yourself and be humble. And that is going to take you so far.
Yeah.
So far, because you have the confidence, but don't ever think that you're better than anybody, because
Right.
God will show you. Oh,
Quick,
you what?
real quick.
Quickly, I'm going to humble you.
Right.
So always keep that in mind. Be humble too.
oh yes,
love
that's
that.
definitely a key.
Yes.
That is a key.
That is our segue into Mama Juice, friend.
Guess what? We found the secret.
secret.
We found the secret. If you are a mama or a woman in general and you are struggling with your libido, we have found the trick. She-O has done the job. We have been more engaged intimately with our husbands. We have had all the fun. And when I tell y'all the fun, we have had the fun. And guess what? We don't have to put towards so much energy because this has done the trick. And if y'all don't believe us, check out the reviews.
Yep.
Like,
Check the link in our bio. And use code MAMA, all caps, for extra discounts. But order it today. That's all I gotta say. Order it
today. And like we said, if you don't trust us, read the reviews. Okay.
So you want to tell listeners what we're drinking today?
I always want to tell y'all what we're drinking. So this drink is inspired by Scarlett. And it's called I Want It, I Got It.
That's right.
And it's like perfect. As you all can hear and see, she has talked about her story, how she's gotten here, and she wanted it and she got it. Like her dream job, her family, her new home. Very blessed. So I want it, I got it. We're drinking a mocktail version of this today, but I will share the cocktail version. And what this drink has, I'm going to share the mocktail version first, then we'll go into the cocktail. So it has 2 ounces of freshly squeezed blood orange juice, 3 ounces of lemonade, and then it's topped with elderflower tonic water.
It's really good.
It's good.
Very
really
refreshing. It's so good. Thank
you.
This is awesome.
Thank you. And if you want the cocktail version, it's the same ingredients, just add bourbon. Or you can add gin, too. That would be a good option.
yeah, gin would
But y'all know I'm a bourbon girl, so I'm always go 2 ounces bourbon. Minimum. I'll do 1.5 ounces every now and then. And then also mint garnish. Mint makes it pretty.
Yeah.
And tastes good, too, if it sits long enough.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it's time for Mama's Corner, my favorite segment of the podcast.
Okay.
So this is your first time listening. Mama's Corner is basically our opportunity to connect with our listeners and with our guests. And typically you all write in and we give you advice. Now, we are no experts, so please do not come back and say, Kendra, Scarlett, and Debbie said this. Now, if it works, give us our credit. But if it doesn't, just don't mention our names, okay? So we do have a question, and it says, hey, mamas, when I tell y'all I'm loving this community, we love you right back.
Yes, we
Thank you.
do.
We love the compliments, so keep them coming, okay? I have a question. It seems like you all have really busy lives. How do y'all find time for yourselves? It's a good question.
We'll start with our guest.
Yeah.
Woo. Yeah, so I would say that's a really important question, and definitely appreciate it because, yeah. How do you find time for yourself? I don't think I can give you an honest answer and say that I have mastered that. Mm-hmm. But what I do is I try to put my energy into associations or organizations. So I'm an active member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and that is my outlet. That is my time to myself because it allows me to get back to the community. It allows me to use my creative brain where I can come up with events, where I can help sorors do different things. So that's my outlet. That is my time. I love being on committees. I love being committee heads and a part of my sorority. So that's me. You got to go back to your roots and what you like and go do it. Other than that, I don't have a lot of time. So outside of that, that's it.
So you engage in your community. That's what brings you peace and things that you like to do, and that's what you practice.
Absolutely. And within my sorority, and you all know, you have your mentors, you have your cocktail hour. So I get a lot of what I need for me through that outlet. And so that is how I find time for me.
Love it. Love that answer. How about for you, friend?
It's a very hard question. So I use my evenings to myself. After Eli goes down, Jonathan's in this stage now where he's studying for his license, so he tends to that. And I use that time to watch TV. I love a good TV show. I will binge watch TV and just relax. I may have a cocktail and a snack, or I may just sit there and kick it. So it's a matter of me really getting or pouring more into the things that I enjoy. And one of those things that's convenient is me binge watching a TV show.
That's good.
So I take advantage of it whenever I can. Like, I can just sit and not have to really think about anything but what's on the TV screen.
Yeah. Is there one program? What about BMF? Have you guys watched BMF?
So I have not gotten into BMF yet.
Yeah.
But I do watch Power.
Okay.
I have a lot.
Kendra,
I love TV.
She like, you watch this? No, I have not.
I'm finishing up You right now on Netflix.
I heard that was good.
It's good. It's a little crazy, but it's good. It's good. I got a list of shows.
That could be in the whole description box. I'm trying to figure out when to schedule to watch TV. But for me, I am very intentional about my schedule. So I schedule things, and I feel like now that I have a schedule and a routine, I can spend more time for me. So for me, it's rest, because I was horrible about resting. And so this is why I'm not able to watch TV, because I'd rather rest, because I have to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to work out, get the boys ready, get to work by 7:30. So I sacrifice my TV time. But summer break is coming up, and I'll binge watch all the shows while the kids are in summer camp.
Don't you speak it, because, you know.
I did sign them up for summer camp. Yes, I'm that mom. Yes, I'm off, but they will be in camp. They will not be with me.
Absolutely.
And I don't care how much it costs.
Best money ever spent.
Yes, best money. Daycare, come get your kids, okay? These are not my kids. But yeah, just really being intentional about my schedule and when I can do things and things I want to do. And as you all know, this is hard work. This is passion work. So we love talking about the podcast and what we can do next and all that stuff. So we have a day designated just for that, for outreach, our next plan for marketing and all that. So yeah, we are very intentional about scheduling things. And if it's not on the calendar, as Kendra always forget to put it on the calendar,
I do.
It is not happening. And so that's our inside joke. Put it on the calendar now.
Because I'll forget. I'll go on about my
and
day.
And schedule something else. I'm like, friend, this is not going to work. It's not on the calendar.
I will tell you, I'm free in a minute.
Yeah, I'm like,
and not triple double.
Right, like, oh, dang, I forgot.
Yeah, so that was a great question. Thanks for writing in. Always write in, because you know I love that. So
yes, y'all please write my friend in Mama's Corner.
So Scarlett, if people want to know more about you, where can they find you?
Well, yeah, I'm not really active on social media that much anymore because life is happening. But I am on Facebook under Scarlett Simone. I am also on Instagram, High Class 20. That's High Class with a K, and the number's 20. But I'm really active on LinkedIn. So you can find me on LinkedIn under Scarlett Collins, and then we can connect that way.
Oh,
so.
that's awesome. Especially if you're a corporate mama.
I know.
Check her out.
I know. Well, she's your girl.
She's your girl, as your you mama. Can see. Your mama, your girl, your own girl.
And LinkedIn is a powerful tool for you to get a job. I got several job offers through LinkedIn, so don't sleep on it. It's a powerful tool.
That's awesome. Thanks for that. Well, until next time, mamas. Bye.
Bye. All so much for joining us at the Real Mama Pod.
Yes, every Thursday night. Y'all could be anywhere,
but you're hanging out with us.
Yes, and we love it. So, friend, where can they find you?
They can find me anywhere they like. I'm on Instagram at KendraFerg _ and I'm also on Facebook, Kendra Ferguson. Okay. What about you?
And you can reach me at DevGrace _ Instagram, TikTok,
Pinterest, Twitter,
Facebook, Twitter, all of that at the Real Mama
Pod.
Yeah, so make sure you follow us. If you want to learn more about Kendra and I, you can check out our website where we have Mama merch. Hey, you can see our little sweatshirts.
All right. Yeah. We are wearing our Mama merch.
Yeah, we have sweatshirts, hats, necklaces. We also have Rich Auntie merch. So you can purchase that at www.therealmamapod.com. We're so corny.
I know.